Hey man, tell them your name and what you do and who you are.
My name is Josh Terlecki, and I'm in the nursery here in Youngstown, Ohio. And now you are also in the nursery.
So we're at Susie's Dogs and Drafts in Youngstown right after the Zoo Kills Part 2 release that I opened up and D-Town played at and Younger Still and of course the Zoo. What is it? Why are you here, man? What do you like about Youngstown?
Oh, well, I could tell you right here tonight, I am here to see the evolution of the Zoo. I've been watching the Zoo perform since the beginning of their time, and that common thread of Khalid and how he brings to life the Zoo and everyone that's a part of it. It was just an amazing experience, you know, seeing them from their days at Cedars and going on their first trip to New York to play at the bitter end way back when, and just reflecting on all the old videos I captured of them in their early performances, just coming here and seeing it just come to life every time. You know, they always deliver a nice fresh scent, you know, and it just represents how Youngstown, even though it's evolving itself, it still has that common thread of camaraderie. I mean, we got Lee Boyle and just a great community of people here. So, you know, that's why I'm here. I'm here.
You heard it here first, guys. Two wild and wacky white guys who get really nostalgic about Youngstown music and art.
We're being nursed. It's all about being nursed in the nursery. I come back to Youngstown to get my nursing.
It's our new catchphrase. Hi, this is Lee Boyle, and we're on the midnight shift, and you're being nursed.
You're being nursed. Absolutely.
All right, thanks, man.
It's cold in this neck of Ohio tonight, and the style is right for a sad winter song. I feel lost like a speck in a pile out of sight. And though I try with all might, I just don't feel that strong. As we walk through a field trekking on snowy dirt, my eyes start to hurt trying to see a smile. And we talk about fears making our story short. You are scared to get shot, your bravery goes for miles. And there's more miles to go as we walk the train tracks. I think we lost the rain back in the woods we just hiked. And the store signs can glow as you walk sidewalk cracks. I think we lost the town back trading street lamps for kites. The nursery and all of the trees crossed over the dark, and some old parking lots hold my whimpering thoughts. And I'm on the next train, you and me, can't you see what this means? In the light of a torch, realize nothing is forced, nothing is forced.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's story time here at Nursery, a podcast from Ohio's Creative Voice. I'm here with Craig Beight and
We're doing this.
And Greg Allison.
And Craig Beight.
And Greg Allison. And Craig Beight. And my name is Lee Boyle. Make sure you check out bullskit.com. Wanna laugh?
No.
Well, then don't watch. Actually, that's okay.
You see,
watch
we're really
it.
deadpan. That's the joke.
We're very deadpan around here.
Yeah.
When you tell someone you're deadpan, that only reinforces the humor. So, Greg, what's been happening?
East Palestine football going to the playoffs.
Yeah, dudes. East Palestine, Ohio, the little small town with the Bulldogs playing in their high school football team, are going to the, what did you say?
The playoffs.
Playoffs. So they beat South Range.
They're going to the, what's the sport? Football.
They're going to the football.
Playoffs.
East Palestine Bulldogs are going to the football.
This is all our town has.
Yeah, dude. So Greg was at the game, and we beat a team called South Range near the Youngstown area, and that's huge to us.
Mm-hmm. This has turned into the worst podcast ever.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now it's
Did you
back.
fart?
Did we just introduce the podcast with a high school football recap?
Yeah, dude. That's awesome, though. East
These are the
Palestine
worst
football
podcasts,
rules.
man. These are the ones that are at the bottom of iTunes, dude.
Yeah.
Joe and Larry high school cast.
Is that
We're
real?
your local Youngstown Sports Recap Podcast.
Sports recap. Earlier today, somebody threw the ball and it went over a painted line in the grass. Now everyone's life has changed. All their wages have changed. Their families uprooting themselves, all because they threw a ball over a painted line in the grass.
Craig, what's going on in your life?
I was, let's see here. Oh, I was listening to Greg tell me about the football game tonight.
Oh, yeah, the East Palestine High School football.
26-25, a win on a last-second blocked field goal.
Take that, South Range.
Yeah, second Aaron Kane.
I'm not at all a victim of circumstance and rooting for that team simply because I was raised in that town. I hate South Range because they suck, and I love us because we're just that awesome.
Yeah.
I know. I'm saying. Did that sound sarcastic?
Yeah.
Well, it was. Not.
We're gonna edit this part out, right? Please tell me. Okay.
They always say that in Nerdist, and they never do. You ever notice that?
Damn Chris Hardwick.
Well, it's the chick or whatever on the show who probably is the one not editing it.
Chris Hardwick. They're talking about Chris Hardwick.
Oh, right, that's the blonde chick, right.
Dude, so what are your guys' favorite movies to watch at like 2 a.m.? Like, what's your favorite like late night movie pick? If you had to like recommend something to our listeners, is it a horror movie? Is it fun to be scared, or is it like a comedy, or is it an action movie? I tend to try to pick movies that are kind of high adrenaline, so they'll keep me awake if I'm up late. And I tend to choose those weird buddy action comedies, like the stupid I can't even think of it. The Rock and Sean William Scott movie. For some reason, those are my like late night.
I kind of like 2 a.m.'s the time for like
Sleep.
sci-fi. No, well, sleep. Yeah,
Sci-fi, yeah.
Sci-fi, but like I'm just saying, sci-fi channel movies, like the bad sci-fi movies. That's like something weird. That's like Alien Outpost 5, and they never made the first 4, but there's just one called Alien Outpost 5.
Right.
And
That would be a good late night. Yeah, sci-fi.
yeah, that kind of like bad sci-fi that I hate during the daytime, but when you're just laying there in bed and you're kind of half asleep, and then the bad alien costume, pop up on TV, it's like,
Yeah.
whoa, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
And then I usually fall asleep, and then have like alien dreams or something.
Somebody said, I was listening to a podcast called Sharing Needles with Friends, and they just do.
Needles with friends.
Yeah, and it's just about.
That's how you get AIDS.
Oh yeah, it's a Knoxville podcast, and they talk about they're referencing vinyl when they say that.
Oh, right.
And it's like music. It's like kind of
That's not
clever.
what I thought of.
No, but
I
But
think
the-
that's a play on words.
but they mentioned a movie when I listened to an episode, and it was I think something to the effect of what you said, like a sci-fi thing. I can't remember now.
The last movie I saw, like at 2 a.m. This was a long time ago, a few months ago. But it was that movie Donnie Darko.
That's
you ever see Donnie
late
Darko?
night movie. I've seen that. Yeah,
This
I
is
watched that
sort
with
of
you once. I haven't seen it in like
What a
years.
fantastic
it's a good movie, right?
Oh, it's
sure
a
it
great
was,
movie.
yeah.
It's an amazing movie.
From what I remember, I think I've seen it 2 times, and I liked it both. Oh, I know what I saw. Well, this isn't quite the same, but this is a good late night. Well, good late night on one hand because it'll keep you awake because it's interesting. There's apparently a sleep paralysis documentary somewhere, like Netflix or something. And I didn't watch it, but it just scares you. And apparently somebody watched it or heard about it they heard about the concept of sleep paralysis, and then they went to sleep and it happened to them.
I don't buy
Isn't
that.
that
I
weird?
don't buy that for a second.
Maybe it's not true. I don't know.
No, I don't know.
Someone scared themselves into having those dreams.
Those kind of stories are like never true.
So if you watch a documentary, you wouldn't like go to bed with the creeps or anything necessarily. Or at least not thinking it's going to happen to you.
No.
Yeah, right.
Might make me like if a movie's really, deep or complex or something that's making me think about it, maybe that'll keep me up if I keep thinking about the movie in general. But no, I would never watch something like that and then think, oh no, I'm gonna be paralyzed in my sleep, and I'm not gonna be able to get out of it and wake up.
Peppy would do that because he's kind of a hypochondriac, but oddly enough, he actually has experienced sleep paralysis, so the point's moot in that regard. But
I think that would be a case where someone would almost be a dream. Someone thought that they were in sleep paralysis.
It's a dream within a dream within another dream.
Someone thought that they were
Inception.
under sleep paralysis after they woke up a lot later. But really, they probably just had a dream about being under sleep paralysis where they thought that they were awake and couldn't get up. But that was all just probably.
Oh, I'm sure that's possible. Yeah.
That's way more possible than actually going under sleep paralysis.
They just have a dream whose subject matter is sleep paralysis, but it's not actually having the effect of thinking you're paralyzed.
It's not actually having sleep paralysis.
Right. That's amazing. Yeah. I mean, that could easily happen.
It's just people having a dream about something and interpreting it as being real. People do that all the time.
So you say when I had that dream about killing my neighbor that it wasn't real, right?
Right.
Cool.
So there's no reason for you, us, or any podcast listeners to be concerned. He did not kill his neighbor. They died of natural causes.
Right.
So, yes.
It's natural to have your hands around their necks.
Yes.
Very natural. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The hand was created by God. The neck was created by God.
Nothing wrong with that.
I read that in the Bible.
You're not from around these parts.
You just killed it. You killed the flow. You murdered it. Just like you murdered your neighbor.
The flow. He's the only guy that kills the flow of his own podcast.
Yeah.
I dreamt that it was a daydream in the middle of the day that I killed my neighbor and I wasn't sleeping. But it was a dream, right?
No, it wasn't. You killed him.
That makes more sense.
Yeah. So, back to what we watch at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, what do you watch?
I watch if it's like 2 o'clock, that means I'm going to try to watch something that'll help me go to sleep. Mm-hmm. I mean, I always have the TV on when I go to sleep. I can't have it off because it's just too quiet.
That's weird. No, I'm just kidding.
Some people think I'm weird for that, but so it has to be something non-committal.
Something that you've seen already too, or
a lot of the time, yes. Or the storyline, it doesn't matter.
You can't be that interested in it. In other words,
I usually love the show, but the fact that I've seen it like several times, it's like, oh, okay, it's like just in the background.
It's not going to be surprising to you.
Oh yeah. Right. Like currently, I'm like watching House, which I've watched at least like 3 times every episode, probably.
Oh, is that like so you have like a show in rotation?
Yeah. I like go all the way through different shows.
So that's the show that you fall asleep to, in other words? Or?
Yes, currently anyway. After this, I'm probably going to go back to Archer. Like, total just silly comedy that it doesn't matter what happens from one episode to the next.
I don't know if I could fall asleep to that House dude's voice. That guy annoys the hell out of me.
Why?
I don't know.
What did he ever do to you?
Huh?
What did he ever do to you?
Acted way too sarcastic through my TV screen.
I hate you.
So do you ever watch Apartment?
No, what's that?
Apartment?
It's like House, but it's smaller.
God damn it, dude.
We both fell for that hook, line, and sinker. We looked at him like, No, we are not aware of the show, and you need to explain what the show is.
The thing is, it's so easy to fall for because there's all those stupid house hunter shows and stuff like that it could be totally real. But
it sounded like a bad Hulu series.
we totally should assume that Lee was being a goddamn idiot.
There probably is something called Apartment. I mean, there's probably a show called Apartment Hunters or something.
What's that like tiny house show? I've only seen like one episode of it, but
it's kind of boring.
Yeah, I was weirded out by it that someone would want like a really tiny house.
Is that some sort of weird slur on handicapped people with Tiny Tim? You're like, just because he has a cane, you think he's walking around being like, God bless us, everyone.
No, it's just
I'm
they've
just kidding.
got really small houses. What?
Tiny house. You called him Tiny House, like Tiny Tim. I get it.
Dude, stop.
Wait, you mean they're not tiny
God bless
buildings
us, everyone.
You mean they're not tiny buildings for midgets and dwarfs?
No, that's the issue in this. Why it's.
Have you guys seen Tiny Apartment?
You know what? I haven't, although my Hulu subscription expired, so I don't get that anymore.
I take it from my sister, so.
Your sister takes it from me, actually.
Okay, I get it.
But not me, though. I don't get anything. Joke's on me. Oh, crap.
My sister's stupid, so yeah, the joke is on you.
Yeah. So, so we were talking earlier about Back to the Future.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Back to the Future Part 2 is the whole entire reason why the series exists. Back to the Future Part 3 is just a throwaway, cast off, let's make a little bit more money.
Dude, that's why it's good. Back to the Future 3 is awesome because they don't have all their strings attached.
Well, here's the thing.
What strings? There's no strings in
Two's just a transitional bookmark.
You
of
mean
a
the
movie.
strings of being a good movie with an interesting plot? Those kind of strings? Yeah, those are the kind of strings I want. Thank you.
So here's
I don't like those strings.
Shut up. So here's the thing. The first movie is perfect.
It is. It's perfect.
I think it's perfect, but the
And it's a
second
lot
one is better though.
No, dude. First one
second one is-
kills the second.
Wait, did you say the second one's better than perfect?
He knows
Well,
too.
here's
That's
the
why
thing,
he's
here's
saying
the
it that
thing.
way. He knows in his heart the second one's just
How do you go from perfect to
Transition.
better than
Okay,
perfect?
well here's the thing. I like
The second one is simply a bridge between two really good movies.
Excuse us, we're having a
conversation. So the first one, like the script and like how it's written and the actors, that's just perfect all around.
It is.
But the second one, like I love time travel, like television shows, movies. You have it. So just like the whole
jumping back and forth. The
Exactly,
time,
and having
alternate
like
timelines.
Yeah, my favorite thing is having when they go back to the 50s and Back to the Future 2, and like you see all the things in the first movie happening while he's like trying not to be
that's
seen.
My favorite part of the movie.
Yeah,
Which
it's so
is
cool.
good, and I love the second one. Don't get me wrong, I do love it, and I like the characters, and I care about what happens to them. So I don't mind the elaborate plot. That's
Dude,
great.
Back to the Future 3 involves Doc. He has a freaking train that flies.
which is fantastic. Which is awesome, man. I love that scene where they're getting the train going.
Come on.
Where they're getting the
Also
train
his
going
son.
is awesome.
His son's a pervert too. You ever see that?
Who's this?
Yeah, like Doc Brown. Like, did you ever see that like YouTube video where like they like zoom in and it looks like the kid's touching himself in the video? Like, it's so weird.
Oh, I don't want to see that. That'll ruin everything.
But I love the
tell me
train,
about
dude.
that?
I know
I
it's
don't know.
stupid, but
It's
I
like-
love the
How
stupid
dare
train.
you.
That's the deep internet, man.
But it's awesome because that one, it's I do care about the characters, so I'm not saying I don't care how they fix the timeline in the second one. I do, but that's always, to me, almost every movie I like, the plot falls on the back burner to like always, because like I know they make it out okay. That's implied. Like I'm not worried about he's hiding. I hope they don't see him. I don't care how they met his mother. I just like watching Barney sing. So that's why I like Back to the Future 3. I don't care where they went. I just like watching their like characters.
Work out, but the first time you see the movie, you don't know how they're gonna work.
Which is amazing, but we're talking about longevity, and that's why I think the second one falls by the wayside a little bit, because like once you've seen it once, it is now just a transitional bridge to the next entertainment. You know what I mean? Like although the dance is awesome, dude. I love the dance. I love it. Yeah,
that's
totally awesome. Totally awesome. But in the first one,
your cousin Marvin Barry.
In the first one, I hate to say this, but in the first one, the dance scene is better. It's so classic and charming, even without the double Michael Keaton. It's
what we
awesome.
haven't even brought up about the second film, though, is the whole concept of the alternate timeline.
The only reason I didn't talk about that is because I don't really care about that part. That
That's
part,
great.
I don't care. I don't. That's my least favorite moment.
Extra concept.
I feel like they could have cut
This
that.
has taken over.
That's so cool.
Future.
I don't.
That's
For some
phenomenal.
reason, I don't really care about those scenes.
Actually, that might be that even more so than re-seeing the parts of one. That alternate timeline, I think is my favorite part of the movie.
Yeah, I don't care about
His
that.
hotel and all that. Over Hill Valley.
For some reason, that doesn't appeal to me. I don't know why. I always almost want to fast forward that part. It's weird.
Don't ever watch these movies.
That part to me is completely like the equivalent of when Luke goes into the woods and fights Darth Vader in his conceptual thing. You know how Family Guy.
That's just weird. But
no, I know it's weird, but it stops the movie cold the same way Family Guy joked that it stopped it.
Because it's an absolute major part of the storyline. Because
but you know when Doc's you know when Doc's like, somehow we've made it to an alternate, and he explains it for an hour. Like I want so badly to skip the scene. He's like, and this timeline is actually the alternate time. And I was like, dude.
Well, here's the thing.
That's enough of that.
I mean, the thing is, it's kind of a family-esque movie.
Well, I'm not saying he's dumbed it down too much. I'm just saying they spend too much time.
I'm just saying it has.
What are you guys talking about now?
Just the beginning of that whole scene.
He hates the scene where Doc Brown on the chalkboard explains how the alternate timeline works.
I'm not saying they shouldn't show it. I'm just saying from that scene to the point to the end of like them displaying the alternate timeline scene in the movie, everything slows way down. Like in my head, he's just like, we have entered an alternate time. Like in my head, that's how it sounds.
That's when things the first time you see it, that's when things ramp up. Because that's when you realize what's going on. It's like, oh shit,
totally
have changed because of the whole almanac and all that.
I totally agree. I think it is like definitely a circumstantial thing of seeing the movie a few times and like having years pass that I have this opinion. No question. Because it is exciting the first time. I remember it being exciting the first time. It was awesome. But then anytime, even the second time ever, I was like, all right, Doc, all right, we get that. And I don't know why. That's just how my reaction was.
So my theory as to why, and I know it's just like stupid, like bringing movies into reality, but why we don't have flying cars and lace-up shoes today? No, it is a totally great concept.
This is more dumb than his Back to the Future 3 theory, but go ahead.
Well, it is the Back to the Future 3 theory, right?
His theory.
My theory on why it's good. It's good because they didn't like have a plot. Is what kind of my.
So go ahead. So what I was saying is that
this is
we don't have flying cars and stuff because Marty decides to not race needles in the third movie near the end.
Right.
Completely changes the timeline.
Movie has an effect on our reality.
Well, that's the thing. Everybody was like joking about it because, like, oh my God, the Cubs are like going to go to the World Series, and like, so that was just kind of the joke. But you just are taking it too seriously, you stupid mother.
This is the Back to the Future, man. I take this seriously.
So do I.
But Greg's taking it seriously in a different way than you.
Right.
Well, I take it seriously while keeping it grounded in reality.
Well,
so the writers got it like the technology is wrong that actually advanced.
Dude, by the time this podcast airs, everyone's gonna be so sick and tired of the whole Back to the Future.
No way, man. How could
this
they
is
have
a
gotten
live
more
stream
sick of it than? They already have, right? It's only going to go down from here, right? It'll be perfect time.
Yeah.
Right? Because, like, it's gone. It's done. They're not going to ramp up again for a while, right?
Yeah, I guess you're right.
Like, I mean, not perfect. Not perfect time. I mean, not. Who cares? We're just talking about movies, but.
And I mean, the thing is, people watch like made such a big deal out of it because it's still so relevant. So it'll be even relevant after like we put this podcast out. So it's whatever.
Well, how about Hot Rod? Do you think it's still funny? Have you seen it?
It's the greatest movie of all time.
I agree to an extent. It's definitely my favorite comedy of all time still. And it wavers sometimes, just in the face of classics that seem to hold up more. Like, I hate to say this because it's a totally different style of comedy, but once in a while UHF kind of rivals it in my head just because of how ridiculously funny that seems to still be. And that came out in '89. But I don't know if
I would put them on the same.
Yeah, but Hot Rod definitely.
Wavelength, UHF.
Yeah. But Hot Rod definitely, I don't think anyone really is with us anymore, but I think that Peppy kind of is. But I think me and Greg are the only ones that still would probably say that's like our number one comedy movie of all time.
It's definitely not my number one.
It has fallen by the wayside for people who, at one point liked a little more.
It's still totally mine. I can watch it.
Yeah. Me too.
At any time and still laugh my way through it.
Right. Bill Hader kind of the more you watch it, the more he kind of sticks out and like.
Oh yeah.
Kind of holds it together.
Yeah,
it's weird. Like
I think when I first saw it, Rico seemed like.
Yeah, he was the draw.
Yeah, but I mean that's partially because I think that was like the first movie I ever saw him in. What's his name?
And he hasn't done, I don't know, but he hasn't done very well in other projects.
I mean, he did the Eastbound and Down. He did Tropic Thunder, and at least
he's funny in
Tropic Thunder. Yeah.
But he's never done anything even
Pineapple Express
anywhere near what he's done in Hot Rod.
Yeah. Because that character was just so ridiculous.
Yeah. Somebody like the director, somebody had a hand in like prompting him correctly.
Just the whole I'm gonna drink green tea all goddamn day scene is just perfect.
He has never acted that well. But yeah, Bill Hader's, I guess since his comments are slightly more detailed than everyone else's.
I just ran over the small bus.
They just start to shine after you've seen it too many times. Like,
dude, I just love randomly being like, oh man, it was totally serendipitous.
I know. That's the best line now, and that's only because we've seen it so much. That would never be anyone's favorite line. But that is one of the best lines in the whole movie.
Yes.
Somebody better call a boner. Sorry. If the boner police.
I'm a lawyer.
It has to be. Dude, when I'm in the car by myself, sometimes, like just to myself, I'm like, it has to be seen to be believed. I just like say it.
I love going through the whole explanation of like the AM or the TV and FM radio tattoos.
Up here.
And safely up here is an AM radio or whatever. Another movie like that, which I would call probably my second favorite comedy, is Zoolander. Is that so good for you?
It is awesome. It definitely holds up.
Still Zoolander.
Yeah, that's better than Hot Rod.
That holds up.
I don't think so, but I think it's close.
It definitely has some moments that are like Hot Rod where they never at all hesitate to be surreal at weird scenes where you wouldn't expect it, like when he talks to himself in the puddle.
When is Zoolander 2 coming out?
I don't know.
I think they filmed it. Maybe, so they're probably like editing it right now.
Yeah.
And I guess this most everybody is in it.
I think so, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that's so cool. I can't wait.
That's a great cast.
Yeah, I don't think that was like a hit when it came out either.
No, it wasn't. It's one of the ones that became like more like a call hit afterwards.
What's with us like liking movies that like nobody else likes at first?
Those ones, I mean, that's plenty of
but I'm not
people
sure that we
like
ever
Zoolander.
watched them right away when they came out either.
I saw Hot Rod in theaters.
Yeah, Hot Rod for some reason was that way. Mm-hmm. Zoolander was too.
That was like at our height of like loving Andy Samberg. Well, maybe not the height, but that was like when he was like starting out at SNL, and we were big fans of the Lonely Island videos and everything.
Right. And we watched the Boo and stuff online. I remember watching the Boo.
Yeah, I remember that.
But yeah, Zoolander. Yeah, I know a lot of people. I keep I ran into a lot of people that loved that and loved Hot Rod. They were girls. I knew a bunch of girls of all people. You wouldn't think they'd be like girl type comedies. But I think like I knew people where I worked at a pizza place that loved it, that loved those movies, and they quoted. They knew all the lines. Like,
Oh, nice.
Yeah, they quote Zoolander to me all the time and stuff. They'd be like, "I think I got the black lung pop," and all that kind of stuff.
Right. Another comedy that still holds up for me is Mean Girls still.
Oh, totally, man. That completely holds up.
And the thing that
I don't get that.
I like
love
that.
it, dude.
Tim Meadows is really funny in it too.
everyone's fine.
You
The
know what it
writing's
is?
fantastic.
I know I differ from most of the rest of us in our group, but like comedy films just don't.
No, I know. Yeah, you don't.
They don't
tend to-
register for me nearly as much. I don't know why.
I think what the draw for it, like these movies, what like they're all similar is that they're all extremely quotable.
Yeah,
Like there's
they have some good scripts.
I
and some
don't.
good
I
info.
don't even like. I'm the worst person in terms of remembering quotes. So like that never registers in my head. I couldn't even give you a quote. I can't quote anything. That's not.
Well, that's why you don't
nothing
like
I
these
remember.
movies, and that's why you suck.
Oh my god, that is why. That explains.
I just saved you a lot of money on therapy.
Thank you, Greg. I'm gonna go hang myself now. Not really, guys. I'm still here.
I mean,
Hang myself.
you want my belt?
No, I have my own.
Oh, good. Okay, good.
Another one. I don't think you guys will agree with me on this because this one's so weird. I like this for kind of different reasons. Although way up there is that it's quotable. That stupid Andy Dick movie. I can't get enough of it, man.
Oh yeah, that's
Division III football's finest.
It's almost
Not the greatest editing, not the greatest acting, definitely not the greatest script,
Dude,
not the
Andy-
greatest shooting, but Andy Dick just completely holds this spark.
He's so good. I
Yeah,
love him so.
he holds
You
his
know what,
spark,
dude?
and all
Dude,
his
that
improv
movie
is so
is
good.
funnier than any other movie we just discussed. Right?
You like that one? I
Yeah.
know. I noticed that. It was weird. It's like
Because there's an absurdist level to Andy Dick.
it's so ridiculous that it's like free range. It's kind of why I like. It's kind of dumb, but it goes back to my stupid Back to the Future 3 thing. It's like it's so like loose in what it's doing. That's not to say I think that Back to the Future 3 was made poorly. It's not. It's made very well, but it's what you said. It's like untied from like them writing like a clever script, like plot, to an extent. And that's Division 3 is because of budgetary reasons and like the staff on it
Is that on
is
Netflix?
totally probably still, and I have it. Like it's void of any structure, and that's why it's funny. Like his scenes where they put in scenes in a weird order. They shoot them really weird.
It doesn't even matter.
But yeah.
It's just a vehicle for Andy Dick to do something.
Yeah, they just give him the front and center, and he does the best he could possibly do. And then all the supporting cast are mostly Mad TV alumni, and they do a really good job. Like the lady who plays the school's the dean, she does a really good job, and the guy that does the assistant coach does a good job, and there's some good stuff.
I remember watching it once, and I remember that stuff.
I know
really-
you responded to the health instructor guy. You loved that guy. He was the guy that
Oh
was
yeah,
like,
that guy's fun.
he was like, Jesus. Didn't slay no Philistines on the back of it. Yeah, I remember you like watched that one scene and laughed, and then you were like, the rest of the movie you were just giggling here and there. It wasn't like a big deal. Like that guy was like way funnier to you, I think. And he's a genius. He's really funny.
I remember that like all the stuff that you said was like funny, like how unstructured it was and how like bad like some of the acting was just like completely threw me off. I remember there were like the characters were funny and they had some really good lines, but there was just so much like weird awkwardness in between that like it did not seem to be on purpose. It would just seem to be they did not know that they were doing a bad job.
Yeah.
You know?
And then every time Andy Dick's character rides his bike somewhere, he stops and then just throws the bike as far as he can.
Yeah.
And then the health instructor, and they're like, and they purposefully don't give them water during the practice.
Right.
And like,
I remember loving how he rode around the bike with the chains and used it like a
Oh,
like
yeah,
a medieval sword or whatever. That was awesome.
And then the main character who's like a third string quarterback, who's also the filmmaker, he's kind of just normal and not that great, but he has a couple lines where like he's lying it to a girl he likes and tells her he has a girlfriend to try to make her jealous, and she's like, "What's your girlfriend's name?" And he's like, "Sarah or Jessica Parker." It's like real dumb. Like the delivery isn't admirable because it's good. It's just because it's funny. I guess.
Right.
It's like not good acting.
Yeah, that's cool.
But it's dumb.
Another movie that completely sticks out to me. I don't know how much we discussed it, and just because of how it was released, that was the like kind of the main focus. But The Interview is absolutely fantastic in my mind.
It is, man. I've seen it like 4 times. I can't get enough of it.
Yeah, I've seen it. I think I might have seen it like
I can't get enough
7.
of it.
You guys really like that?
Yeah, dude.
Dude,
It's not the same thing as
You are, dude. Oh my god, I
I mean,
loved it.
it was okay, but I never need to see that again.
Dude, I've seen it.
I've seen it
Yeah.
7 times,
Yeah.
maybe.
No, I'm not a
It
big,
came out Christmas of last year, and it's
Every
out.
second of it.
What's the guy's name? I'm not a
James Franco.
James Franco and Seth Rogen.
That's right.
I'm not a big Seth Rogen.
Oh man,
Most of his stuff
I don't
I tend to
quite
like.
get him.
like
Why is he famous? I don't.
Yeah.
super bad. Like that.
awesome.
That's one of my also favorite.
Yeah.
No, super bad's a great. That's a funny movie.
Yeah, that's a great.
But I feel like The Interview kind of like
Pineapple Express
is
is
a
great
lot
too,
better and-
but in The Interview is even better.
Yeah.
Man, it's just so.
I
The
think I
characters
got
are so
bored with the whole
ridiculous.
premise of that movie, maybe.
But I thought Seth Rogen's been used better and better every time. Like,
Yeah.
it might not always be a better movie, but I just feel like he's been utilized better in The Interview. And I kind of feel it with, Zach Galifianakis. Like, I liked what he brought to Hangover, even though I wasn't necessarily a huge fan of that. And then I felt like he was like completely on fire in Hangover 3. Like all of a sudden he was way funnier. Not that movie's that great. It's
Not
just
that,
like
not that I've ever seen that movie, because why would anybody?
well, that one's the only one I ever liked out of that trilogy. Like I didn't
Right.
like the other two, and that one I thought was really great. But then sorry, is it the candidate?
Oh, the campaign.
The
That's
campaign.
A good movie.
Yeah, then
he's funny.
Will
in that.
Ferrell and him, I thought that was two of their like one of
It's two
their
of
best
their better,
performances.
stronger.
Yeah, and like
I've never seen the.
that's a great
it's
movie.
good.
That's
I'll
just
borrow
a
it.
knockout. It's pretty much on the same level as the other guys, right? It's just like
Yeah.
a total knockout of a
It's-
movie that like picks a theme of like typecasting. Like
It's
what
really
you're-
over the top, and it's so cool.
right.
Yeah.
Like just like the other guy. You like the other guys, right? Like
Yeah.
Like that one. Like that movie's
I mean, nobody likes it as much as he does, but
right.
it's pretty good.
But that movie's a masterpiece in that, like they just knock out all the well in that the scenes they knock out are all like executed perfectly.
oh
right?
yeah,
Like
the scene where the Rock,
Yeah.
jump-
From that point on,
Samuel L. Jackson
it's
jump
all
off the building.
punchline.
It's so good.
Yeah. It's all punchline.
yeah.
Yeah. And it's only a masterpiece in its execution. It's not like well written. It's not even that the improv is that good. It's just that like the way the scenes are edited and stuff is like just like magic. Like the way they their argument in the office and all their arguments in the office and they dump coffee on each other. It's just awesome.
Yeah. 2 other great comedies, Super Troopers and
Yeah.
Anchorman.
And what
Anchorman.
Anchorman? Yeah, Anchorman 2 I liked a lot better.
No,
Super Troopers and what?
Anchorman.
Yeah, I think Super Troopers and Anchorman, those are better than everything
You like those
else we
better?
discussed. Yeah.
I know it's stupid because I'm totally willing to admit there's a bunch of fat that sucks in Anchorman 2, but the jokes that they put in that movie I thought were better. The funny jokes were like, it was kind of just more highs and lows, whereas the first one was a steady, like laugh. But I felt like 2 was better only because like when he tries to hang himself. I love that scene. That's like the best comedy scene of any movie ever. And then when he sings, this is cut out in some versions, but when he sings to that stupid shark, when the shark's leaving, that is gold.
That is
Gold. You might not have ever seen that because they cut it out a certain
Oh, really?
the extended version doesn't have it in it or some. It's really weird, but
I think that's the opposite of extended version.
I know. No, I know. But I watched it, or it wasn't the extended. It was the like super version that was on Netflix or something. I don't know, some other thing.
Right.
And I was so mad that they cut that out because it was. He sings to is it Dobie, the shark's name? Oh, it's so good, man.
That is really funny.
That movie just has so many good highs, but the lows are right in the middle. The middle of the movie is just drags. Yeah. I don't know why they ever introduced that dude who's their like, kind of nemesis dude that they fight. He has the prime spot and they fight.
Yeah.
That guy doesn't really make any waves.
Yeah, it wasn't like it wasn't like a Vince Vaughn or something. I can't remember who the actor was.
Yeah, he was a guy that's in a lot of romantic comedies and stuff. And
so who cares?
Yeah, and he's not. That guy's a good actor, but he didn't bring anything to that movie.
Right. It would have been like everyone they chose for like the big fight at the end was perfect.
Yeah, that was good.
There needed to be somebody like that to be like the nemesis that kind of like stood out or something.
And his second love interest wasn't really necessary. I know she wasn't supposed to be funny, but she didn't bring. Yeah, she was good. She was good for what she did, but they gave her a lot of screen time that wasn't necessary to the plot.
Right.
And like they definitely had a good plot to that movie, and they spread it way out for some reason.
Yeah, they totally did.
But when Brick is at his own funeral, that was the funniest thing. That was so.
You know what? That's the best.
Yeah.
That's the best part. Yeah.
But I feel like the hanging himself beats that just because of the tone Will Ferrell uses. He's like, I tried to hang myself. That's such a good scene, man.
Oh my god.
Ferrell Takes the Field was awesome. I thought
It was funny. Yeah. It was a really.
It was a little long. I got kind of tired of
just at the end, but it felt like it was pretty much good until like the last like fifth or something, right? Like it held. Pretty.
Yeah.
And then at the end, it was like I don't know why you should have like made this like a 15 minutes or something. Like
I mean, it totally kept it entertaining that he changed positions every different game that he went.
Yeah,
to.
definitely.
Yeah, like that he actually tried to like hit a ball against a major league pitcher. Mm-hmm. Like that's like really brave. That would be like terrifying.
Insane. Yeah. I liked when he was in the helicopter with that dude.
Oh yeah,
and he just looked really bored with the guy.
Yeah. Back to Super Troopers. I cannot wait for Super Troopers 2.
That's gonna be awesome, man.
Wait, this is gonna be Super Troopers 2?
Yeah, they did crowd funding for it. Yeah, it's gonna be sweet.
It is gonna be good because unfortunately everything else they did not. For some reason, them being cast as like state troopers limited them just enough that they were able to be funny. But then when they got outside that box in other movies,
most of their other movies are funny though.
They're funny, but you know,
I don't
like
think
the
they got
parameters.
all the attention though.
They don't get attention, but some of them are just like that stupid beer one, man.
I
falls pretty flat.
I don't care for that one.
Club Dread is
Beer Fest.
Beer Fest is pretty bad, and Club Dread has like
Club
three
Dread.
Good moments, but it's not that great. I mean, there are three really funny.
That's just a really low budget one.
It's low budget, but that just shouldn't hurt it. Like Super Troopers' budget didn't have much to do with it. It was just the fact they were all in uniform and they could.
Did I ever show you the Slammin' Salmon? That's the restaurant one?
Yeah, it's okay.
Dude, that one's great.
I laughed a little bit. It's not like that's bad.
For what?
It's called the Slammin' Salmon. It's like they work at all work at a restaurant. They're like
they had free range in that movie, and that's what ruined it. Super Troopers is like structured, and like it's the opposite of Back to the Future 3 in my head. They respond to like plot. That's good when they have structure.
Now, dude, that movie's worth it just because Will Forte sits in that. And only sits at his table the whole movie, drinks a tea, and reads War and Peace the whole time. That's it.
I know, but like all those side characters and stuff like aren't funny in the movie. Like
that's
that
is
I
great.
Remember that.
You guys watch that Will Forte Last Man on Earth show?
No, not
I
yet.
turned it off after like number 5.
Okay,
Yeah.
It's funny you said that because when I was watching it, I like it. I like all of it. But as I was watching, I was like, oh man, Lee's not gonna last because he's gonna find too many of the moments way too like painful and annoying, and then you're gonna tune out eventually, which is probably.
Well, I didn't tune out for that reason, though I know what you mean. I did notice that, but I just tuned out because I didn't like how broad the strokes were with the plot. Like, number one, I really wanted him to be the only character for the entire series. I loved.
Oh, okay.
First episode was gold. And I truly believe he has the chops to have carried a 5-season series with no one else.
I don't know about that.
Because
That's
the minute he brought other people in, his acting plummeted. You know, like,
You think so?
Yeah, and I'm not saying it was that horrible, but I want to have sex with this girl, but this girl's already married to me. Like, I just turned it off. Like, I was like, who are you talking to here? This isn't for me, is it?
I don't know, man. I don't think that's possible. That'd be like doing.
It felt like somebody
trying to come up
pressured him.
with a. That'd be like coming up with a different one-man show every week.
But they could have taken it super slow.
More than a season.
Yeah.
Maybe not, but that would have been worthwhile because they could have just taken it super slow. And like when he just shot the lock off that door when he walked in, they could just like show all scenes like that and have him talk to those mannequins and those tennis balls and whatever he's talking. That was awesome, man. They did that like twice.
I bet see it. Yeah.
I mean,
I'm sorry. Yeah.
It's still mostly just him in the series, though.
Right.
Him and the one other person, Kristen Shaw.
And she's good, but like, I mean, it's just unreal, man. It's like he's like, I wanted to sleep with this girl, and the minute I'm about to, this other guy. I know, but I'm imagining. It's like when a show makes you imagine that narration, it's bad. Like when I saw that like 4th episode where that big guy shows up, right? But to what extent am I entertained by that? Like the big guy shows up right when he's about to sleep with the other girl, right when he cuts a deal, things go south. It's like,
but you didn't watch it. You didn't see what? I don't want to reveal it to you in case you ever watch more of it. But
I might watch some more, but
actually don't though because
I'm gonna hate it. I'm gonna hate it.
No, it's not for you. It's totally not for you.
It's not for anyone. Like totally
I enjoy it.
Somebody like got in his ear from Fox and was like, "Can you make it like?" Just try to sell it with like some sex and like 2 girls. Maybe there's a girl you're trying to sleep with, and I mean, like it's like
dude,
there were like 2 awesome episodes, and then the ratings went down, and somebody was like, "I'm trying to make a threesome." Yeah, right about a threesome
for like 3 of the episodes.
I know. I hope, but his verbalization in the show, he's just such an annoying like voice. He's so like, it's like not hearing him talk really worked in that first episode when he just kind of talked a little bit to those people, but when he raised his voice and he was like, right. So she says it's cool if you and me sleep together. I was like, ew, man. Like, but I don't know, man. That to me it just seemed so transparent that it kind of bothered me. Like that's the only reason shows. But to Curb Your Enthusiasm's credit, though. They get too ridiculous and angry sometimes for my taste. I never see through it very often. There's moments where the improv you can see through a little, but through the big idea, to the credit of Larry David and how he wrote on Seinfeld, the plot I don't see through ever. I like his plots. The acting, it's okay. That's cool. Like, but seeing through the plot of Last Man on Earth like bummed me out pretty hard. And again, I don't know what else happened. It's not like I could predict it all. Right. But just seeing through the small plots, episode to episode, I was like...
And that was a boring plot. Yeah. That didn't really...
It made me think of our Bullskit stuff. It's like, she's a neat freak and he's a little bit of a slob. And I was like, I can't do this.
Right. If I want to... I've only watched a little bit of Curb, but if I want to watch a show where it's a bunch of insane people yelling at each other, I'm gonna watch It's Always Sunny. It's just it's fantastic. It's Always Sunny,
which is fine, but I would recommend some Curb. I would recommend a little bit of Curb. Like I definitely think it's worth.
I honestly think
you root for him, and
I love both of those shows, and I don't interpret them on the same way.
You know what, Sunny, you actually kind of throughout the entire series can kind of hate the characters and still be okay with it.
Whereas
like Curb,
I don't know.
Sonny is
I
more-
love the character.
Sonny
well,
is
I
more,
mean, you don't side with them all the time. I guess I mean like.
Oh, they're all
That's-
they're all
that's
pieces
what
of
I
crap,
mean,
but
that's
that's
what I
why they're like awesome.
But Larry
Sonny is more
David,
like punch you in the face,
Right.
or punch you right in the gut.
But Larry
Curb
David,
is like
you actually
a
care
thousand
about.
needle pricks for
Right,
an
right.
hour that adds up to the same thing, but you don't get the same surge of action or moments that you do in It's Always Sunny.
And because those little needle pricks are there, all the things that he does aren't quite as morally questionable because they're never like these big. They're never these
it's
big
not-
like.
There's rarely a blatant moment where you're like, "Oh my god, I can't believe he did that."
Yeah,
It's
you
never-
way more care about his like life for some reason.
for sure,
like,
for sure.
Like and Sonny, it's awesome. But yeah, you know what? They're all played well. I love the characters, but you don't feel compassion if one of them gets hurt like very often, like almost at all. Like,
No, but I think what makes them like such cool characters is that they all have some sort of like mental illness that they all need help on, and they all like take it to such an extent that it's fantastic. Just Dennis is a psychopath, like. Yeah.
But
then,
that's
like,
awesome, but it's intense as hell. Whereas Curb, you were talking about shows
think
you
so.
put on where you fall asleep. Curb is perfect for that. Perfect for it because
I do that with
it's
It's
so
Always Sunny,
trivial.
too.
All his stupid plots are so trivial that you can't care that much about. It's like he's like, they gave me the Chinese food and the lid was loose on it. You know, it's like so stupid. It's like so Seinfeldy, but
That's such a
but you're
perfect description.
yeah. It's like he's like, you didn't put the lid on right, and they just spend the whole episode talking about the lid. It's so stupid. But I'm only saying that like because it's like that's easy to fall asleep to because you don't feel like you're missing anything. If you
The thing with Larry David is, honestly, the funniest thing I've ever seen him do is that Bernie Sanders thing on SNL like 2 weeks ago.
That was great, by the way. But he's not the
he's
greatest.
funny. He makes me
actor,
laugh in
but
that show though. He's
not the greatest of actors, but
Yeah.
what he pulls off is when he's in different situations, he pulls off the fact that you actually think that he would maybe do that in real life. Like you can see him
Absolutely,
doing
yeah.
a lot of that stuff to some extent in real life,
Right.
And that's what makes it work. He doesn't even have to act. 'Cause
Well-
even though you know it's not real, you think, yeah, Larry David's the kind of guy that probably would do that or say that to somebody.
I just thought of a perfect example of why it annoys me. You would agree that it's just a lot of people over analyzing things.
It
correct?
is.
And that just reminds me of how I hate playing Scrabble with your family. Or what is it Scrabble we always play?
Categories.
Categories.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, where we'll
Yeah.
get into like a 2-hour
Honestly,
argument
dude.
over if.
But don't you
a
like to sit back and watch them do that and listen to them? See, I find that funny though.
No, because
Right.
it's so frustrating how stupid some of their arguments are.
That's funny. It's
No.
funny to hear someone say something.
Not when it's your life. We spent 2 hours trying to determine if dagger is a tool. Like that is not cool.
Dude, some of my favorite moments of playing categories is listening to Lee and Steve have a discussion about.
No.
That's what I look forward to in the game.
We
That's
have a
better
discussion
than the
about
actual game.
what a tool is, and it turns out it's both of us.
That's better than the actual game. I could sit there and listen to that for like an hour.
That's kind of in my head. I kind of agree with Craig, although I'm on the inside of that statement. But like to me, playing the game is kind of about those dumb conversations.
Kind of, yeah.
Like
It's
not
just
to the
too-
extent that
And
we
it's
have
always
them. We
great
take it
because
too
in
far.
my head, there's a clear answer every time, but it's funny to hear the one person just go on and on.
Yeah,
forever.
somebody.
No.
And the reason the person goes on is usually because they know they have that free time to screw around. Like
Right,
that's what's
right.
weird. That's what Curb Your Enthusiasm is. But if you don't like it, you don't like that. That's okay. That's like that
thing-
makes sense because it's frustrating as well.
Okay,
and
so-
that's why you got to turn it off like halfway into the episode half the time.
Well, okay. So I will now differentiate from how our categories, just to talk about the categories arguments.
Categories, yeah.
In that that's TV, so it obviously has a structure to it. That is just a 2-hour free for all with no structure, and it's just goddamn. It's,
Wait, what is?
No,
our categories are.
no, dude.
It's
Curb
2
is
hours.
the same.
Nuts.
Curb is the same.
Well, it's not 2 hours though. That's the thing.
It's 1 hour, and it's ridiculous, and it's really chaotic. It's very close.
It's also not our lives, but
It's close. No, it's not. It's not close to our lives. That might be a reason to enjoy it though, because it's removed from you. I think Craig is saying that he can do that with people he knows, but most people can't. So like Curb, like, because I turn Curb off for the exact reason you're talking about.
Right.
Like I'll get 2-3 in, and I'll be like, guys, they're just fighting for 3 hours, and I turn it off.
well, yeah.
But like Craig can like detach, man.
I can remove myself from
Yeah.
it easier.
So I'm with you.
So you're detached from reality? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Well, he's like how
Fuck
doctors,
humanity. Like I can look.
scientific people are detached sometimes. Like scientific people can just be like,
That's
it's for the greater good.
That's exactly what it is. I'm detached. I'm some. Maybe it's not healthy, but it's another.
Well, I think it's
level
something you
of
can turn
detachment
on. I
that
think
I'm
it's
looking
something
at
you can turn on.
something.
Craig, I would never call you healthy.
But Craig can be like, okay, detached for a while. Okay, I'm coming back.
I'm just zooming up another level, where
And
like
that's the sound of his penis.
Dude, really, there's like awkwardness. There's a bunch
Yeah, it
of
doesn't
level of
phase him.
awkwardness that bothers me.
It does bother me, but it doesn't get him because he can pull out.
I'm gonna be the last. That's funny. I'm gonna be the last person of anyone that I know of most people I know, including you two, that's gonna be affected by
yeah.
awkwardness.
Which is kind of cool.
I mean, I can handle a lot of it.
Right, but I'm about the same as you at my threshold, even if I'm the one causing it. Like, I'm the one that has the compassion like you do, where I'm like,
I think I can get a level of enjoyment out of it that a lot of people don't.
Yeah, definitely. I
Enjoyment out of it in real life situations.
I guess
Right.
enjoyment is a little bit different. Like I can
Yeah.
totally handle it, and I can cause it like hell. But I like if it's other people, especially if it's not. When I do it, it's out of humor. When a lot of other people do it, it's just because they're just weird.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
that's
the
what I
best
can't
is
handle.
when two other people, they're not even, there's remotely zero humor being exchanged between the two. That's when the awkward moment is the absolute funniest. When it's the most serious and not depressing, but maybe even slightly negative. That's the best. That's great.
But I don't see that. I see what he's talking about, but I don't feel that way. Like I feel bad for them when that happens and stuff. It's weird. I'm jealous.
You know what?
that
I don't
Craig
feel
can detach.
bad because it's
Like I think that's cool.
the awkwardness is just so superficial. It's so much of it just created in people's head. It doesn't
That's
really
probably
exist.
the right way to look at it. I mean, I'm just not capable of like reacting in the moment.
It doesn't
like
have-
that. But I like that. I mean, that's
It's one of those things that only has meaning when you give it any meaning.
yeah. I guess that's kind of a Zen
doesn't
attitude.
really-
Shut up.
I'm being really existential here, but that's totally the case.
That's a very Zen attitude.
use big words.
Yeah, it's a Zen attitude that I can't really aspire to in the moment. I can do it after, but I can't do it during.
It's very seldom do I think I'd feel awkward. I mean, everyone can feel awkward, but I
Yeah.
think there are a lot of moments I notice I see other people get awkward, and I'm like, why are they? That's weird. Why would they be awkward then?
You probably just have a lot less hang-ups about yourself than the average
Yeah,
person.
it's all insecurities.
Yeah, because the reason that I
mean, I
glom
don't
on-
think I'm necessarily a really secure person.
Right, but you don't project your hang-ups onto other people like a lot of people do.
I guess my insecurities don't have anything to do with other people.
Yeah, in my head
It's
they
just
do,
more
you
of
know.
my own internal stuff.
When somebody's being awkward like 800 feet from me, somehow I convince myself that I'm causing that. You know what I mean? It's like
Right.
subconsciously. I know consciously that I'm not.
Yeah, of course.
But like,
no,
but in my head,
most
I'm like,
people do.
I have to fix this.
but you just have the feeling. Is
Yeah,
that-
I'm like, I have to fix this. I'm not being a good Samaritan if I don't. And I think Greg gets that too. where he's like, even if he's not part of it, even if it's not me and my brother, even if it's like someone in a restaurant that he's never met, he still is like, I'm in on it now, man. I'm here, man. I'm part of this crap.
Yeah, you just go for it.
Just happens. Yeah. And it's not like you have to engage. You just feel like you have, even if you haven't.
Yeah, just like
if somebody in the restaurant when we were getting wings had gotten in an argument, we'd all be like, how can I help this? You know, we wouldn't just be like, oh, well, like you wouldn't even be like, you'd still.
No,
like,
but I would be.
But in your head, you would be less involved than me and Greg would be probably. Like, even if you got up and said, hey, everybody, calm down, like you'd still be like much more removed, like in a good way, I think, right? It's probably good.
I guess. I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like me and Greg are making everything about ourselves when we put it the way we put it. You know that? Like,
wait,
maybe that's the wrong way.
We're narcissists?
Wait, this isn't about me?
You guys are selfish. Wait a minute. This isn't about me.
Wait a minute. That wasn't a spider?
That's sad that you knew what I was referencing when I wasn't even doing the line from a skit that most people don't even know.
Guys, go to bullskit.com and check out the skit entitled Singing Dancing Spider.
On top of a smoking, oh, covered in cheese. Oh boy.
I can't do it as well. Somebody flushes a human down the toilet. Spoilers.
It's crazy.
All right, guys.
That was a very good podcast.
What's the deal with people flushing humans down the toilet?
What's the deal with Seinfeld?
It's good. It's a good show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did you turn it off?
Not yet. Hello, Newman, right?
Enjoy your burrito, everyone.
Good job.
He got that.
Hello, everybody. It's Summer Camp Steve from Bullskit Productions. The Nursery podcast is sponsored by the Orange Avocado. Thank you for listening. It's just about the connection. It's about love. It's about stories. It's about sharing. It's about socializing. Thank you. Thank you for listening.